Tvam samsaram drutaram asaram surapate Haratvam papanam vitatim aparam yatavapate Aho dinenathe nihita charano nishchitam idam Jagannath Swami nayana patadame bhavato me Jagannath Swami nayana patadame bhavato me Jagannath Ashtakam Punyam यह पठेत प्रयत शुचिः सर्वपाप विशुद्धात्मा विष्णुलोकं स गच्छति
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We wholeheartedly welcome all the devotees to ISKCON Richmond's Saturday Sangha. We are very honored to have you all here, and especially we are delighted that we have His Grace Upendra Prabhu for the very first time on our Richmond platform. We are truly grateful to Prabhu. His Grace Upendra Prabhu is a senior disciple of His Holiness Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Prabhu actually has been serving Srila Prabhupada's mission for many years. He joined actually in ISKCON Vrindavan 1995. Actually, his whole family, his brothers are also initiated devotees, disciples, and you know, the whole family is just wonderful Vaishnavas. Prabhu is actually originally from Orissa, and he is very deeply learned in scriptures. Prabhu is been loved for his talks, you know, all over. He's been traveling many parts of the world, in Europe, in Asia, and also America. So, you know, we are very fortunate that we get to hear from our dear Upendra Prabhu today. And as we celebrated our wonderful festival, Jagannath Rath Yatra yesterday, literally millions and millions observed this beautiful festival yesterday in Jagannath Puri and all over the world. So we'll continue our meditation and absorb ourselves in the pastimes of Jagannath Swami. So without any further ado, I would like to request Upendra Prabhu to please take over and take us to this journey.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Upendra Prabhu.
So first I would like to thank Jagannath Prabhu for giving me this opportunity to serve the devotees of Richmond through this Jagannath Katha. And it is great advantage, as you said, I am from Orissa. I born and brought up there. So naturally attached to Lord Jagannath, but it is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Although we have been celebrating and observing the Yatra festival, but before we didn't know the glory of Lord Jagannath, although just for fun and just for celebration, we would celebrate and attend Jagannath festival. But when we come, when we join ISKCON, Then we came to know the glory of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the glory of Jagannath. So this is the great mercy, this is the causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And as we all know, that Jagannath Dham, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is called Namo Mahavadannaya. He is the most merciful Lord, and similarly, Lord Jagannath is called Patita Pavana. Patita Pavana means, Patita means fallen and Pavana means pure, or maybe Pavana means deliverer. So Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, he is the deliverer, he is the savior, but without his mercy, I know I'm not that qualified. Only I seek the mercy of Lord Jagannath. By his mercy, maybe I can narrate some pastime. Because I remember one pastime of Lord Jagannath, that how if someone thinks that I can do this, I can do that, if someone is egoistic and thinks that do, he can perform something without his mercy, with his own power, then never ever get success. Once what happened in 1972, I think like 49 years ago, there was chief minister, I don't remember the name, but I know the story. And it was a lady, she was the chief minister of Odisha. And she visited the temple, and it was the day of Jagannath Rath Yatra, and she had some other engagement, and she wanted to leave as soon as possible only by taking darshan of Lord Jagannath. So she spoke to the management team there, to the administrator, that I want to leave as soon as possible. Is it possible to take Lord Jagannath in chariot so I can have darshan and leave soon? So somehow or other, being, obligated and obliged to the chief minister, the administrator, whoever was there, he said, okay, we'll try our best. So, but the administrator thought that, okay, he could arrange this. But Lord Jagannath, he is the proprietor, he is the supreme controller of everything. He thought to give him a lesson that he is the supreme controller. So Lord Jagannath, that day, before Jagannath Rath Yatra festival, when the Lord with Baladev and Subhadra, they come out of the temple, that's called Pahandi Vijay. In Odisha, it's called Pahandi Vijay. Pahandi Vijay, that is also a different story. So Pahandi Vijay means, when Jagannath comes, they rock him, and just Jagannath swing from left to right, front to back, and come out from the temple. So before him, Subhadra and Baladev, they are on the chariot. So when Jagannath was coming out of the temple slowly, and in front of the chariot, there is one ramp, there is one slope. So somehow or other, you have to carry Lord Jagannath. You must have watched that pastime. But Jagannath is very heavy, and Daita Pati, those who serve Lord Jagannath, Daita means there are different group of servitors are there, and every particular service is given to some group, and they are dynasty. Through the dynasty, they have been serving Lord Jagannath for many years. Only their group will serve the particular service. Like if someone pluck flower every day, their dynasty, their lineage, they will serve that service. They will take care of that service. So to make the ramp also, there is one group. This ramp is made by one group. So there are like more than 100 groups of servitors are there in Jagannath Puri. So while Lord Jagannath was climbing that ramp, and the devotees, the Daitas, they are very expert. They are trained because they have been serving the Lord for many years. They are very trained. And if you are not trained, it's very difficult to carry Lord Jagannath through that ramp. Even to carry him while rocking and swinging him, it's also very difficult if they are not trained. They know where to touch and how to move him. So while they were taking care and the Lord Jagannath is climbing, it happened that Lord Jagannath was not moving. He got stuck right in the middle of the ramp. Just imagine it is slope and he just got stuck there and he is not no more moving. So all the Daitas, they were working hard and pushing and pulling, pushing and pulling, but they were unable to take him ahead. And he was not moving at all. And everybody, they were worried, what's happening? And already Baladev Rath is started, and Subhadra Rath is started, and Jagannath got stuck there, not moving. Thousands and thousands, millions of devotees, they are waiting for the Lord Jagannath's chariot, and he is not moving. He got stuck there. What to do? And in Jagannath Puri, whenever there is some problem, then because the king, he is considered the first servitor. So whenever there is some problem, they approach the king. So they approach the king. They said, okay, let's approach the king. He can find some solution for this. So they approach the king, and normally only when the king comes for the service, he comes with his dress completely decorated as a king. But normally when he comes to take darshan or comes for the service, any other service, he comes with just general, like a general person come and an ordinary person he comes. So as soon as the king was informed that Lord Jagannath is no more moving, he got stuck. That ramp is called Charmal. In Orissa, the Pandal they call Charmal, that ramp. So they informed the king that they said that the Lord is just got stuck there, is not no more moving. What's the problem? And everyone knows that if there is something happens, something like this change happen, they know that there must be some pastime behind it. Because nothing happens by chance there in Jagannath Puri, because the Lord himself there is performing pastime now. Like Lord Krishna was there in Dwapar, he was there in Vrindavan performed pastime. Similarly, Lord Jagannath in the form of Lord Jagannath, still Lord Jagannath is performing different pastimes there. So somehow the Daitapati, they approached the king, and the king came hurriedly. Then when the king came, he paid his obeisances, and he didn't come to the front. From the back side, he touched Lord Jagannath, and he prayed from there that, my dear Lord, that if there is any mistake, if there is any problem, if there is any offenses we committed at your lotus feet, please forgive us, and please move forward and accept the throne, because the millions and millions of devotees are already waiting there for your darshan. So we are getting late. So please, my dear Lord, please accept the throne and let us start this Rath Yatra. So as soon as the king prayed to the Lord, everybody saw that the tears coming out from the eyes of Lord Jagannath. But they didn't understand what is the reason, why Lord Jagannath shedding tears. And then Lord started to move forward, and he accepted the throne. So why I'm telling this pastime, that in this pastime there are three lessons and three teachings you can learn. The first thing, that this chief minister wanted to have darshan according to his according to her schedule. And this administrator thought that I can, make her happy by doing some arrangement, and somehow or other he had that ego that he can do some arrangement. So Lord broke that ego, because Lord wanted to establish, who the hell are you? I am the controller. I am the supreme controller. So that's he wanted to establish this point. And the second thing, why Lord Jagannath was shedding tears, that later the news came that some devotee from some village, they were coming by bus, and they had some accident and they could not reach to the Rath Yatra. So later when the news came, everybody understood why Lord Jagannath was shedding tears, and they shows the Bhakta Vatsalata of Lord Jagannath. Even some devotee once they narrated one pastime, our devotee from Germany, they were coming and they got delayed and they were just disappointed. They were little bit sad that maybe they are going to miss Rath Yatra. And surprisingly, when they arrived there, somehow or other the Rath Yatra was delayed and they had a darshan. So if you go to Jagannath Puri, Lord Jagannath reciprocate with everyone, each and everyone, whoever is there. And that is the pastime Brahmaji in the Skanda Puran, after establishing the deity, somehow or other to clear this doubt. Sometimes devotees, those who are not completely surrendered, those who just come to take darshan, sometimes they do not know the glory of Lord Jagannath. And to clarify that in Skanda Puran, Jaimini Rishi speaking this katha and Brahmaji clarifying this question asked by Indradumna Maharaj that this is a wonderful form, never ever seen before. And some people might doubt that what kind of Lord is this, and they might not have that Shraddha. And to clarify, to eliminate that doubt, here Brahmaji says in Skanda Puran that this Lord, to glorify the mood of reciprocation, which Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, ye athamam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamiham. That Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, ye athama, according to our mood, according to our bhav, Lord reciprocate with everyone. Depend upon our mood, how we are approaching the Lord and for what purpose we are approaching the Lord. And that's why Lord Jagannath, he is the one that he accepts all the form. Now you know he is there in the Gundicha temple, and for the rest of the 9 days, he is going to dress in different, there are 10 most prominent avatars, and every day they are going to dress Lord Jagannath in different form. One day like Bararu, one day Narsimharu. So different form they dress the Lord Jagannath. So according to this pastime, we can understand that in Bhagavatam it is said that Ete Chansa Kalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swa. So somehow or other, Lord Jagannath exhibits this philosophy that he is the source of all the incarnation, he is the master, he is the proprietor, he is the annihilator, and he is the creator of this universe. And all this is again very amazing that whoever, any group, any religion, whoever comes to Jagannath Puri, they find that their Lord is sitting over there. And they are satisfied with the philosophy, somehow or other they adjust their philosophy. In Orissa, some people claim he is Kali. Some people say he is our Lord. Like we know the Ganesh verse, the devotee story, he came to take darshan of Lord. And initially he was disappointed. You must have heard that pastime. This Ganesh Bhatt, when he came from South India, he was the devotee of Ganesh, and he was disappointed. He was upset that he came to take darshan of his Lord, and he would consider Ganesh as his supreme Lord. So he wanted to have darshan in that form. And when he came to Puri and he saw the different form is there, he was upset. And that is why, to satisfy and to pacify him, Lord Jagannath took this form of Ganeshji. That's the elephant form. So Lord Jagannath is there to reciprocate every emotion, every bhava, every devotee. Whoever comes there, whatever mood you have, Lord is going to fulfill. And that is why the Jagannath Puri, the glory of Jagannath Puri is unique. And Lord Jagannath is most merciful. And Jagannath Puri itself, we can say it's kind of confluence of all the saviors. Like the Jagannath temple, it is called Patita Pavana Dham. That Lord is sitting there to deliver all the fallen souls And then the flag is there on the top of the temple. That's also called Patitapavana Dana. The flag name is Patitapavana. So as soon as you enter into the dham, just step into the dham and just from the very far, from far distance, if you just take darshan of that flag also you get delivered. And what to talk about the Sudarshan Chakra who is there on the top of the temple. So Sudarshan Chakra also just deliver everyone by giving darshan. So this is the glory of Jagannath Puri. That's why I'm saying it's confluence of all the savior. Then the ocean is called Tirtharaj. The ocean itself called Tirtharaj, the king of all the pilgrims. All so many tirthas are there in Bharatavarsha, and now because of Srila Prabhupada also tirthas are there in different countries as well. And all the temples, whatever Prabhupada established, and wherever the Sankirtan movement is going on, wherever the Katha is going on, all are equal to a tirtha. So it is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. He traveled different part of the world and established this movement. And this is how somehow or other Srila Prabhupada created and manifested different tirthas in different countries. So this Jagannath Puri is confluence of all the saviors. But only thing was missing that Sankirtan movement. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because in Srimad Bhagavatam also said, when we know the pastime of Bali Maharaj and Vamana Dev came to ask for 3 states, and in that pastime, after Vamana Dev, Lord Vamana Dev took away everything. Sorry, before he took away everything, when he was asking to make the promise, that time Sukracharya informed Bali that this Vamana Dev is none under the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is here to take away everything. So in that pastime, after the pastime over and Lord gave a benediction to Bali Maharaj that he is going to become doorkeeper. And after that pastime, Lord himself told Sukracharya, because of me, your heaven and your sacrifice is incomplete. Go and complete it. It is not good. If you started some heaven and sacrifice, you're supposed to complete it. So in that particular pastime, Sukracharya himself says in the Bhagavatam that Sarvam karoti nichidram nama sankirtanam tavo. Oh my dear Lord, you are telling me that it is incomplete, but I consider it is complete because it is the glory of your holiness. Sarvam karoti nichidram nama sankirtanam tavo. If there is any flaw, if there is any mistake while performing heaven, that only through sankirtan we can fulfill it and we can get the perfection of performing sacrifices. So this is the glory of your holiness. And since you are present yourself, the embodiment of all the dharma, how can it can be incomplete? It is already completed. As soon as you appeared and gave darshan, it is completed. So point is that in Jagannath Puri, Lord Jagannath, he has been delivering so many fallen souls. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started his Sankirtan movement, that time, again, that dham, which was, I was telling that something was missing. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was missing there. So this is the dham which, even if someone is very fallen, if you come there, and there is another glory of this dham that as soon as you come to to Jagannath Puri dham, automatically we can elevate ourselves. Sometimes it's happened that someone doesn't have any philosophical understanding, but as soon as you go to the Jagannath Puri dham, automatically you will be promoted to the different level. As soon as you enter and go to have prasad, if you go to Anand Bazaar, you see there is no discrimination. Here we have to preach so many times. Sometimes we have to emphasize this is the glory of prasad. This is non-different from the Lord, and you should not consider him an ordinary food. But there, as soon as you enter and go to an Ananda Bazaar, and you see there is no discrimination. They do not consider it like jhuta or contaminated. Even the high caste person, Brahmana, can come and take prasad from the plate of a lower caste, militia or chanda. There is no discrimination. They cannot make you discriminate as well. Sometimes the pandas are so strong, like there is one Torani, it is called Torani, is the water of the rice, but they make some chili and some sour. It's very tasty. If you go ever there, if you've been there, you must have had it. If you didn't have, I would suggest and request better have it. It's very tasty, but what they do, they use the same glass. They use the same glass and they will ask you to drink, not from that top, that how you drink. They said, drink with the lips. Why? They make us realize that this is transcendental. So as soon as you go to the Jagannath Puri temple, quickly you elevate yourself. And that is the glory of Dham. That is Jagannath Puri Dham and Jagannath. So that's why in Jagannath Puri it is called Bada Danda, Bada Thakura, Bada Chaka Akhi, means everything is big there. The Lord is big, he has big eyes. His temple is large temple he has. So Lord Jagannath form. So just I want to discuss little bit about the form of Lord Jagannath. Sometimes we say that Lord Jagannath doesn't have any legs. But Jagannath says that Jagannath is sitting in the Padmasana posture. Like when you see in Padmasana posture, legs are not visible. So Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra, they are sitting in Padmasana posture to deliver the fallen soul of this material world. They are performing austerity for us. They are performing austerity. That's why their legs are not visible. Someone may say, why he has this extended hand? Because he is just waiting. He is just calling everyone. Come on. I am here to accept you. I want to deliver you. I am here to deliver you and I want to liberate you. So that's why he is ready to accept us. Other Lord in other form, we have to work hard, we have to do so much of austerity. But once you are there in Jagannath Puri, Lord is there to accept anyone, regardless of caste, color, and creed. Although Malachas means those who are not born and brought up in Hindu family, they are not allowed. But, and this examples also, the standard is set by our Acharya as well. Although Srila Prabhupada was disappointed, he would get upset why they are not allowing our Western devotees. But somehow other our Acharya, like Sanatan Goswami, they set the standard. They would not enter to the temple. But we should not be disappointed because Lord Jagannath, we can have darshan from very far also. If you take darshan of just flag, Patita Pavana Bhama, and if you are not able to take darshan of Jagannath, don't get disappointed. He is like Achala and Chala. Chala means moving Lord is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So somehow the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent his last time there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gambira is there. We can go to Gambira and take darshan of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started his movement there. So come back to this. We had this Rath Yatra. So before that, I wanted to tell you, I wanted to narrate the pastime that we should not have that ego that I can do this. I was telling the story of this minister. So first I beg the mercy of Lord Jagannath to bless me so I can speak some of his pastime, narrate some of his pastime. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 11, Canto 12, chapter 11, text number 42, where it is said य एवं एतद् भृगुभर्ज वर्णितम रथांग पाणे अनुभाव भावितम संसाभये संसृण्याद ताभुमं तयोर्न कर्माशय संसते भवेत् य एवं एतद् भृगुभर्ज वर्णितम. There it is said, Sutta Goswami, after describing, after narrating the pastime of Markandeya Rishi, Sutta Goswami concluding, and he says that Ya evam etad bhrigu varja varnitam. Oh, sages, I narrated this pastime, which pastime is full with the glory of Rathanga Pani. The name of Lord, another name of Lord is Rathanga Pane. Rathanga Pane means there are different meaning of Rathanga Pane. So, one meaning of Rathanga Pane is the Lord, he who guides the wheel with his hand. Ratha Anga Pani. Pani means, in marriage, the Pandits are there, ask us. They call it Pani Grahan. Pani means hands. So Pani Grana, Pani. So here Rathanga Pani. If you split this word, Rathanga Pani. Ratha Anga. Anga means limbs or part and parcel. So here Ratha Anga. There is wheels. Wheels are called Ratha Anga. Wheels are the part and parcel of the chariot. So Ratha Anga means that's Ratha Anga, it's called wheel or it's called Chakra as well. So he who guides the wheel with his hand, that's called Rathanga Pani. Or there is another meaning, who uses wheel of the chariot as weapon, called also Rathanga Pani. This name is there in Vishnu Sahasranam as well. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, this name is there, and that is the name of Lord Jagannath as well, because he is the Lord who mount the chariot to deliver the fallen soul of this material world, those who are suffering. So Rathanga Pane, here it is said, Rathanga Pane Anubhava Bhavitam. The person who listens the story, the discussion, or the pastime, which is full with the glory of Rathanga Pani Anubhavi Bhavitam. Like Krishna Bhavana Bhavit. Similarly, here it is said, Rathanga Pani Anubhava Bhavitam. The pastimes or the story which is full with the glory of Rathanga Pani. And what will happen if you listen and if you meditate, if you relish those pastimes? It is said that Sansra Bhayet Sam Sunuyadu Tabhumam Tayorna Karma Se Sansiti Bhavet. That one who listen the pastime of Lord Jagannath, one who listen the pastime of Rathanga Pani, Karmas Saya Sansiti Bhavet. That person get liberated from this cycle of birth and death. Sansriti means the cycle of birth and death. The person who listens the pastime of Lord Jagannath automatically will get liberated, we get free from this cycle of birth and death. So, in Oriya also it is said that Monama Sravana Kirtana Shraddha Upaja Jaramana Se Bhakti Yoga Adhikari Keve Noahi Sansari. Because we are speaking about Lord Jagannath, so it's very natural some Oriya sloka or some Oriya story will come up. And being from Odisha, I will give you that flavor, Oriya flavor little bit. So here it is said that Monama Sravana Kirtana Sadha Puja Jaramana. Lord Jagannath says that Monama Sravana Kirtana Sadha Puja Jaramana. The person who is interested to listen my katha and my kirtan, that person is eligible to attain my bhakti, and that person will never ever become sansari. There is two words, sansari and kansari. Sansari means the person who is indulging and completely immersed in material enjoyment. Sansari and Kansari, Kansa-ari. The Lord who killed Kansa is called also Kansari. So if you take the shelter, if you listen about the pastime, if you listen the pastime of Kansari, you will never ever will remain Sansari. So here, we are here to listen the pastime of Lord Jagannath, Rath Yatra. Rath Yatra, in fact, the Lord who mount the chariot, in Odisha they call Daru Brahma. Although this Daru word, don't Daru matlab Hindi mein, those who are Hindi speakers, Daru matlab it takes the meaning, different meaning. But here Daru means wooden. But the Sanskrit meaning of Daru is Daru. Da means like Dan. Dan karte hain. So Da means giving. The Lord, He bestows something to us. Something very auspicious, He bestows. Da means giving or bestowing. And there is another meaning, Daru means Vidarana or destroy. So this Lord, what He does, what is the quality of this Daru Brahma, what is the glory of this Daru Brahma, that as soon as someone takes darshan, as soon as someone rallies the nectarian darshan of Lord Jagannath, lotus-like, Lord Jagannath's face is like lotus, it's compared to lotus, it's compared to moon-like face. So as soon as we take darshan of that Lord, what happens? Immediately, the suffering of material world get destroyed, get eliminated from our life. Daru. And then what happens? Then He bestows. Then He bestows the love of Godhead. So that's why it's called Daru Brahma. There is one called Sabda Brahma and there is Daru Brahma. There is no difference between Sabda Brahma and Daru Brahma. Daru Brahma means the Lord, He is there in the form of the deity, and Sabda Brahma means our scripture. Our scripture has also considered the Lord Himself taken this literary form. So, when Lord mount the chariot, here Rathanga Pane, why it's called Rathanga Pane, that Rathanga Pane, you know that there are, we see most of us, when we go to take darshan, directly we take darshan of Lord Jagannath, Lord Baladev, and Subhadraji. Very rare people take little effort and give little effort to look at Sudarshan Chakra. But that is the perfect and proper. It is whenever you go to take darshan, first take darshan of Sudarshan Chakra. That's why his name is Sudarshan. If you want to relish the darshan of Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, then first take shelter of Sudarshan Chakra. If you take darshan of Sudarshan Chakra, then your darshan will become more auspicious and your darshan will be fruitful, and that proper vision you will attain by taking shelter of Sudarshan Chakra. That is the proper way, appropriate way to take darshan of Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra. But Sudarshan Chakra, he has also form, although he has different form, but in the scripture in Skanda Puran, it is described, he has also his form. So Sudarshan is there, but Sudarshan form is very small and it is kept somewhere in the corner. So very rare people take darshan of Sudarshan Chakra. But if you want to elevate your consciousness, if you want to elevate your mood and bhava, first take darshan of Sudarshan. And even the Rath Yatra, when it starts, everybody, they are taking darshan of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, everybody running after them. But where is Sudarshan Chakra? In fact, in the form of wheel, Sudarshan is there. It is Sudarshan Chakra which is carrying the chariot. And Sudarshan Chakra is there in the form of wheel to annihilate and kill the demoniac people and liberate and help the devotees. I tell you one pastime. Everyone knows that pastime. When the alligator cut hold the leg of elephant, we know that pastime, Gajendra Moksha Lila. So when he cut hold the leg of this Gajendra, and Gajendra tried his very best. We know the pastime, that's why I am telling you very briefly. So Gajendra tried his very best and they had fight for many, many years. And later when this elephant found himself helpless, nobody is there to help him, then he took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he chanted, glorify the Lord. And in that pastime, Lord came and cut off the head of alligator, and somehow or other he saved this elephant. So later, after killing, while they were returning to Vaikuntha Loka, Mother Lakshmi saw that the soul of this alligator is liberated and going to higher planet. So Mother Lakshmi asked, how come? You killed him and he got liberated. So Lord explained that the person who takes shelter of my devotee, he is quickly get liberated. And this alligator took shelter of two devotees. First, he took shelter of this Gajendra. In fact, he was devotee in his past life. He was a King Indradumna. That is different Indradumna. But he was cursed by, that is different story. He was cursed by a rishi, that's why he became elephant. So he was devotee somehow or other. So he took, that is why in Srimad Bhagavatam said, Naisamati Stavat Uru Karmangri, that without taking shelter, without bathing ourselves in the dust of devotees, without smearing the dust from the lotus feet of the devotees, we cannot attain the mercy of the Supreme Personality of God. Naisamati Stavat Uru Karmangi Srishtartya Nirthapagamo Yadartha Mahi Asam Pada Rajo Visaitam Niskinchanana Nabrinita Yavat. As long as we haven't attained the mercy of the devotee of the Lord, we cannot attain that higher planet. So we need the mercy of the devotees. So here I am telling the glory of Sudarshan Chakra as well, that in that pastime, Lord narrated this to Lakshmi Devi, that he took shelter of first one devotee is Gajendra, another one, Sudarshan Chakra himself is great devotee of the Lord, and that is the designated service given by Lord. And we know in the pastime of Ambarish, when Durvasa Rishi wanted to kill Ambarish Maharaj, and after that he was chased by Sudarshan Chakra. And then first he approached Brahma, then he went to Lord Shiva, then when he approached Lord Vishnu, in that pastime, Lord Vishnu says, I cannot do anything. Somehow or other you committed offense at my devotee, and this is the service of Sudarshan Chakra, that he is the protector of my devotees. So when you go to participate in Jagannath Rath Yatra, most of us, we miss the darshan and the mercy of Sudarshan Chakra, who is serving there. The three chariots, they are moving because Sudarshan Chakra is carrying them. And Sudarshan Chakra helps you when you go touch the Sudarshan Chakra and get the blessing. First, then, if you participate in the Rath Yatra, somehow or other smoothly you can pull the chariot, because pulling chariot, especially if you go to Jagannath Puri, and pulling chariot is not so easy. Not easy. If you have been there, if you never been also by watching Rath Yatra on YouTube or on TV, you can realize how crowded, and people are like ants, they are moving. And in that crowd, you go down there and pull chariot is not so easy. It's not easy. They will smash you, especially your feet, they'll smash you like anything, and sometimes crowd comes like the waves of an ocean, and just sometimes you will not know where you are. So, if you are going to attend the Rath Yatra, first take the blessing of Sudarshan Chakra, who is there to help devotee. So this is the glory of Sudarshan Chakra. So Sudarshan is there in the form of will, and is carrying the Lord. Because sometimes we miss this point, so I wanted to narrate this. So there are some misconceptions. Since I have this chance, I want to clarify the few videos I saw on YouTube. that, and it is this famous story is there in Orissa as well. People think that after Lord Krishna he disappeared, they burned the body of Lord Krishna, and the navel part of Krishna they could not burn it, and somehow they threw it in the ocean, and it floated and came to the bank of this came to Jagannath Puri, and they established that. That story is very famous and very viral. But here in Skanda Purana it is written when the deity was installed. In the beginning of Satya Yuga, the first Satya Yuga, the first day of Brahma, and the first Satya Yuga. Here clearly mentioned, if you read Skanda Purana, it is clearly mentioned that Brahma, when he established this temple, he established temple there in Satya Yuga, and the first Satya Yuga, or the first day. There is two prartha. When you make sankalpa before doing anything, they tell Dutya prartha. Dutya prartha means the second prartha. The first prartha means 50 years of Brahma. The second prartha, the next 50 years of Brahma. So this is now the already Brahma is kind of 55 years old already. So here, Brahmaji himself, even the Lord himself promised to Indradumna Maharaj that I will remain in this temple forever until the annihilation. Until the annihilation, Lord promised that doesn't matter if in the future, whatever happens, I'm not going to leave this temple. He promised to. So according to this evidence, it is clear that not that Lord Jagannath deity was installed and Pran Pratishtha was done by establishing that, on one part, whatever naval part people say. So in the future, if you come across with someone telling this story, you can refute this by this evidence from our Skanda Purana. It is described that it is established. So just imagine the glory of Lord Jagannath and the glory of this Jagannath Puri temple. This is so glorious. It is there from Satya Yuga, and all these years, Lord Jagannath is there, and he is distributing his mercy and delivering the fallen soul of this material world. So how fortunate we are to have darshan of that Lord. Even after the annihilation, Lord is always there. And that pastime, you must have heard, when Markandeya Rishi, who lives for 7 kalpas, at that time he was blessed and he had benediction for 7 kalpas. And during the annihilation, the whole entire creation was full with water. And during that time, Markandeya Rishi, while floating, he saw this dham. Briefly, I'm telling. So he saw this dham, and saw that Lord lying there on people lips, and beautiful mantra. By chanting this beautiful mantra, Karara Vindena Padara Vinda Mukhara Vindena Binive Sayantam. Vadasya Patra Samukhe Sayanam Balam Mukundam Manasa Smaran. So beautifully he sang this word and paid his obeisances to the Lord, and the Lord manifested and exhibited his Maya form. And that's how Markandeya Rishi realized that this dham is eternal dham. With our material eyes, with our material intelligence, it's difficult to understand. Sometimes scientists, they can come and, if they try their best scientifically to understand, they might or they might not. But this dham is there. We have the evidence from the scripture. It is eternal dham. It is eternal dham. So this is the glory of Lord Jagannath Ji, Puri and Jagannath Ji. So let's listen some pastime of Jagannath pastime, Rath Yatra pastime, how Lord Jagannath, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu released this Rath Yatra festival pastime. So we listen from Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, Rath Yatra pastime is given there. And I wanted to relish some of the slokas recited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, beautiful verses from like Mukunda Mala Stotra and few other verses when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was having darshan of Lord Jagannath. That time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited this beautiful verse from Mukunda Mala Stotra and few other verses, beautiful verses. Just I would like to meditate upon that. So here Madhya Leela, chapter 13, text number 55 onwards. Kirtana dekhiya Jagannath harasita, Sankirtana dekhe ratha, Kariyasta Gita. Lord Jagannath was very much pleased by the Sankirtan and he brought his car to a standstill just to see the performance. So Lord Jagannath was very happy. So that is the most important part of Jagannath Rath Yatra, Sankirtan. Sankirtan, without Sankirtan, is incomplete. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared to contribute this remedy. He is the perfect doctor. Like if you go to any perfect doctor, he is going to diagnose the disease and then he gives the remedy. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he appeared, he gave this remedy. And this remedy can solve all the problem of this material world. This is the only solution for all the problems. And here in Jagannath Chariot Festival, it is said that Lord Jagannath was very much pleased by the Sankirtan and he brought his car to a standstill just to see the performance. Sometimes we miss this part. Those who are managing, they should learn. This is the most important part. We are so busy, we arrange for everything, prasadam, distribution, everything. All the arrangement is done perfectly, but sometimes we miss this part. How Sankirtan can be most realizable and Sankirtan can be more attractive because this is the main part, Yuga Dharma. So here also in this festival, Lord Jagannath was very pleased. So when Lord Jagannath was moving, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from very far, when he saw, because of crowd, sometimes he was going further and he was not having darshan. So while dancing, he heard the glimpse of Lord Jagannath. He recited these verses. First he recited, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmanya Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namah Jayati Jayati Devo Devaki Nandanayo Jayati Jayati Krishna Vrinsi Vishnu Bhansa Pradipaha Jayati Jayati Megha Syamala Komalango Jayati Jayati Prithvi Bharanatho Mukunda Jayati Janani Vaso Devaki Jannadado Yadvara Parshad Swedi Virasanya Dharmam Tirachara Bhujinagna Susmita Sri Mukhena Brajapura Banitanam Vardayan Kamadevam. This beauty, one of these beautiful verses is from Kulasekhar, Mukunda Mala Stotra. Divyanam Prabhu has two beautiful sons. I've been to his place and I was telling him that such a beautiful name you have given to your sons. One is Mahatma, another is Kulasekhar. So with one meeting you can remember the name Mahatma Kulasekhar. So here the word from Mukunda Mala Stotra is a Jayati Jayati Deva Devaki Nandanoyam. Jayati Jayati Krishna Vishnu Vansa Pradipa. Jayati Jayati Megha Shamala Komalango Jayati Jayati Prithvi Bharanasa Mukunda. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu By glorifying the Lord, with these verses, wanted to establish, wanted to give this message, Jayati Jayati Devaki Nandanayam, that sometimes those who are impersonalist, Mayavadi, they want to establish their impersonalism. And sometimes even through Jagannath pastime, through the Lord Jagannath also they establish their pastime, their philosophy. This is the unique pastime, unique form of Lord Jagannath. As I said, all the groups, all the religion, whenever they come, it could be Buddhism, it could be or other religious group, somehow other they establish their philosophy with Lord Jagannath. And Lord Jagannath accepts it. Even the impersonality, they say, Lord is impersonal. He is impersonal. There is no form. And all of us, we know that Jagannath Puri temple, puja and everything being taken care of. Shankaracharya, under his guidance, the puja and everything being taken care. So anyway, in this particular verse, it says, Jayati Jayati Deva Devaki Nandanoyam. That Lord is not in person. He has form. And he appeared from the womb of Devaki. Or Jayati Jayati Krishna Vrinsi Bansa Pradipa. There is another thing I would like to highlight here, that the birth of Lord, like in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Devyam. The birth and the deeds of Lord is transcendental. Whoever understands, he gets liberated. Okay. So the birth of Lord, the appearance of Lord is transcendental and esoteric. Here, in this particular pastime of Lord Jagannath, the appearance of Lord is so esoteric, it's very difficult to fathom it without the help of the devotees. We know how Indradumna Maharaj performed thousands of sacrifices, and after that he found this log floating in the ocean, and after they established Lord Jagannath there. So here it is said that doesn't matter how Lord appears, Lord appearance is very important, but Lord appearance is very esoteric. And how to understand this? Here it is explained that when Lord appears, he can appear from anywhere. His pastimes are more glorious than his appearance. It is in Bhagavatam, it is said that Lord appeared from the womb of Devaki, but Mother Yasoda considered more glorious because Mother Yasoda, she is the one relished all the childhood pastime and all the pastime in Vrindavan. That's why Mother Yasoda considered more glorious than Devaki, because Devaki gave only birth and Lord appeared from her womb and just left, immediately left. So his activities and his pastimes are more glorious than birth. So here we can understand that Lord Jagannath, in the form of this Jagannath form, is very unique and amazing, but we have to understand that his activity, he can appear from anywhere. He appeared from the pillar. He appeared from the nostril of Brahma. So you cannot call Brahma is the father of, Barahadev, or the pillar is the father of Nrsimhadev. So appearance is the glory of his pastimes are more glorious than the appearance. So here it is like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give this message that Lord can appear from anywhere. And this form is also transcendental. Do not consider this is an ordinary, riti form. Lord is performing his pastime in the form of Govardhan, in the form of stone, he can perform different pastimes. So what to talk about in the form of this food? Or that's called Daru Brahma. So Lord is transcendental, never ever consider this is an ordinary form. So Jayati Jayati Deva Devaki Nandanoyam, Jayati Jayati Krishna Vrinsu Vransa Padipa, Jayati Jayati Megha Samala Komala. So Srila Prabhupada gives purport to this verse and says that the who and the color of Lord also given here. That how is the form? Megha Shamala Komala. It's like the cloud, the color of cloud, that is the color of Krishna. Komalango Jayati Jayati Prithvi Bharanasa Mukunda. Oh my dear Lord, you have appeared to Bharanasa Mukunda. Because the earth is now overburdened with the sinful person, those who are sinful, committing so many sinful activities. So like we can understand the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Mahaprabhu somehow or other in the look Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is the Lord. He is none different than Lord himself, but in the form, in the mood of a devotee, in the mood of Radharani, kind of praying and glorifying that Lord, oh my dear Lord, you have appeared to liberate and deliver the fallen soul of this material world. And that's why we are very fortunate to have you. So Jayati Jayati Mega Shyamala Kombalango, Jayati Jayati Pithi Bharanasa Mukunda, Jayati Jana Nivaso Devaki Janma Bado Yaduvara Parsada Swedi Vira Dharma. Tidachara Vijigna Sushmita Simukena Brajapura Banitana Bardayan Kamadevam. So Mahaprabhu is narrating very internal pastime of gopis as well, that gopis, the form and the darshan of Lord is so transcendental, so glorious that it increases Braja Banitanam Bardhayan Kamadevam. It increases the desire and intensity to meet Lord Krishna in the heart of gopis. It increases. Only darshan of Lord Jagannath, that means we can understand if the darshan of Lord Jagannath is so glorious that it can promote you to the higher level. Naham Vipra Nachanarapati Napi Vaishvena Sudra. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains how to approach this Lord. This Lord Jagannath is so glorious, but how to approach? If the mood of approach is not appropriate, then you cannot attain the perfect mercy. Sometimes they say that, like here it is the glory of Lord Jagannath, it is said that once you take darshan, once you are there in Jagannath Puri, you are liberated. But someone might say that, oh, I've been there a few times, but I'm not liberated. Again, I came back to home. Because in Bhagavad Gita, you say, I've been there, but I returned back. How come? But the mood and the emotion. Here, that's why in the next verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that how to approach Lord. Naham vipra nachanarapati napi vaishuna sudro. If you have this identity that I am this, I am that, different, we identify ourselves with a different designation, that I am Indian, American, with caste we identify, with our birth we identify, with our different posts we identify ourselves. So every person, every individual, they identify themselves with different things. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Naham Vipro Nachanarapati Napi Vaishyo na Sudro Naham Vanni Nacha Grihapati na Banosto Yatirva Kintu Prodhya Nikhila Paramananda Punna Vitabde Gopi Bhartu Kamalayo Dasa Dasa Anudasa. So this is the appropriate and perfect mood to approach the Lord. If we do not have that mood, then Lord will not reciprocate, Lord will not bestow His mercy. That's why when Sanatan Goswami came to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says that Nicha Jati Nicha Sangi Patita Adham Kubisa Kupe Padi Guai Janam. Sanatan Goswami himself says that Nicha Jati, oh my dear Lord, I am born and brought up in Nicha Jati, in lower caste, and Nicha Sangi. Sangi means association, and I have the association of all this Nicha Sangi, all the mlechas, all the fallen people. I am surrounded by all the fallen people, so that I am not qualified. I am not capable to attain your mercy. I am not qualified to have your association. Patita Adham. I am Patita Adham. I am very fallen. Adham, Naradhama. Adhama means lower among the mankind. So Adhama, Kubisa Kupe Padi. I am fallen into this dark well of this material world. And Goai Janam. This is how I am wasting my life. So this is the appropriate mood to approach the Lord. If we are not humble and meek, then we cannot approach the Lord, cannot understand the Lord, cannot attain the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And if we have that mood, then Lord always reciprocates. Lastly, I tell you the small story of Sala Bega. Because during Rath Yatra, once he was very far away. Just briefly I tell you, then I'll conclude. So Salavega, you must have heard about his pastime. The Salavega who was born in Bhattav, his mother was Brahmani. His mother was Brahmana from the caste of Brahmana, but father was Muslim because in those days, as we know that all these Muslims and Mughal Empire was there and forcefully they would get married. So his mother was a Brahmani and father was Muslim, and when his father died, somehow or other he learned the devotion of Jagannath from his mother. So he was so devoted and surrendered to Lord that once during Rath Yatra he was there very far and he was wondering how he's going to attend Rath Yatra because that was the favorite festival and he never ever missed this Rath Yatra. So he was very sad and grieving. So he started to pray from there in Oriya. This beautiful verse is there. As I told you, I will try my best to give you little Oriya flavor. Like when you have prasadam, different flavor is like it. So similarly, I give you little Oriya flavor. So this beautiful bhajan from Salabek, from there he started to sing, Oh my dear Lord, Jagabandhu hai Gosai. That he said, Oh my dear Lord, I am very far. How to reach there? So Lord Jagannath understood the mood of Salabek and he stopped there. His chariot stopped there. Sometimes so many pastimes took place in Jagannath Puri, and you must have heard that sometimes Lord Jagannath to reciprocate with his devotee, to do some pastime with devotee, he just remains stand still there, doesn't move anymore. Sometimes devotee they get worried what's happening, they don't understand. But Lord Jagannath is Jagannath. He is the supreme controller, he is the supreme master. And according to his own will, he moves. So, this Salabega has sung so many beautiful bhajans in the glory of Lord Jagannath. He was a perfect devotee. So, we do not have much time. I wanted to sing this bhajan, but some other time. So, I conclude it here. So, again, thank you so much, Divyanam Prabhu, and all the devotees, whoever is here, to release this pastime from Rath Yatra. Yes, one more pastime is just coming in my mind. I'll not middle it. Divyanam Prabhu, do you have time?
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Yeah, one most important pastime about Pratap Rudra. This pastime, without telling this pastime, how could I conclude? We know, as we know, that after Rath Yatra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to rest there. There was one garden, he would go and rest there. So Pratap Rudra, earlier he approached Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to get his mercy and he was rejected. Flatly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected. He said, no. Ramananda Rai, such a stalwart devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, they approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected. He said, how can I meet such a Bisai? The king is a Bisai. He is completely merged into this material world. And being a sannyasi, this doesn't set good standard, meeting with a Bisai and meeting with a material person. And he says that these material desires are very contagious. As soon as you meet and associate with the person who has this desire, it is contagious. Like this in this pandemic, we understood and realized how it is contagious. Similarly, these desires are contagious. There is no need to talk. There is no need to discuss about it. As soon as you associate with the person who is having disease, automatically this desire transfers somehow or other, only by talking, only by associating, eating food from him. It is contagious, automatically transfers. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, I am not going to make. So Pratapara Rudra, although he was dedicated, he was disappointed So later, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramananda Raya gave him idea that during Rathayatra, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he goes there and take rest, that is the best time because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu completely he is absorbed in the mood of Jagannath ji, and he has that nature as well. That day, because Lord Jagannath, he is coming out to deliver everyone, whoever doesn't get chance whole year and whole entire life doesn't get chance to have darshan, and that is the day of liberation. You could say day of liberation, day of deliverance. Whoever comes, they get liberated. So that the day of deliverance, and that day you will get the chance, you will get the mercy. And how to attain that mercy? So they told him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was resting and relaxing after the Yatra. He was tired, dancing whole day. And devotees were there. Mahaprabhu was relaxing. His eyes were closed, and Pratap Rudra came and started to massage his feet. And while massaging, he recited this beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Tava kathamritam tapta jeevanam kabiriritam kalmasapaham Sravanamangalam Srimadattatam Bhuvi Gridhanti Te Bhurida Jana. As soon as Mahaprabhu heard this word, he just quickly and quickly and swiftly just embraced Prataparudra. And he could not recognize Prataparudra, he is the king, because he came as an ordinary man. He was not well dressed like a king. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just hugged him and embraced him. He said, please carry on, sing more, Bhuri Dajana, Bhuri Dajana. You have given me such a gem today, and such a nectar today. Please carry on, sing more verses from that Gopi Gita. So this pastime can encourage us that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Jagannath, they are pleased by Kirtan and Katha. When you relish, when you glorify different beautiful pastime from Srimad Bhagavatam, beautiful pastime from all other Leelas, automatically Lord is pleased, and that is the secret how to attract the Lord. How to attract the Lord. Submissive mood, as I explained, that in that Pratapa Rudra is not only because he narrated this pastime, he recited this verse from Bhagavatam, but he was also very submissive because before the chariot began, he was there serving, and Mahaprabhu noticed it that he was very submissively booming the floor there, booming the road there in front of Jagannath. So he noticed this. So, and he is omniscient, omnipotent. So he knows. So that was the mood. So this is the secret how to attract the mercy of Supreme Lord. First is submissive, and the second is attachment for the glory, attachment to listen the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam and glory of the glorious pastime of the Lord. So if we increase our attachment, if we get attached to it, and that will come by listening again and again and again. Maybe in the first place, initially we are not interested, but if you keep listening and keep reading, automatically that interest develops, and that is how we can attract the mercy of the Lord. So this just in this, I would like to summarize that first I discussed how to attain the mercy of Lord, how we should not become very puffed up because of our birth or because of our position. We should not be puffed up. And the glory of Jagannath Puri, the glory of Sudarshan Chakra, we should not miss that while taking darshan. We should take shelter of Sudarshan Chakra first, then the proper mood we will have by the mercy of Sudarshan Chakra, and glory of chariot, that Sudarshan Chakra is there in the form of wheel. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he glorified Lord Jagannath with these 3 verses. And the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the mood of Lord Jagannath. And lastly, the mood of Prataparudra, and that's how to attract the mercy of Supreme Lord. So I concluded here. If any question or anything want to add, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so very much, Upendra Prabhu. It was such a beautiful, beautiful narration, and so in just 1 hour you have provided so many esoteric pastimes and teachings and significance and so much. And I know that you have so much more to say, but it's just the limitation of time. But also your natural love and devotion for Jagannath was very much prominent here. How much conviction and love and devotion you were speaking, sharing this nectarian katha. Very, very grateful to you, Prabhuji. Thank you so very much. And at this point, we like to ask and see if anyone would like to ask any questions or have any comments. We have a few minutes. So if you want to say anything or have any question, please raise your hand and you can unmute and ask. Anyone? Yeah, we have a comment that thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing beautiful pastimes. We would love to hear more and more pastimes like this. Jai. Shyamala Gopika Mataji. Anyone would like to ask any question? So, Prabhu, I would like to ask one. So, you in your katha, you mentioned so beautifully that Jagannath Puri, glories of Jagannath Puri Dham, and most merciful form of Lord Jagannath. And then you also mentioned that if we do not have the proper mood, that we are bereft of that mercy. So actually 2 questions. One is that on one side we say that Lord Jagannath is Patita Pavan, he gives mercy to everyone, and just by looking, and this dham is culmination of all mercy. And then at the same time we are also saying that if we are not eligible, then we cannot attain that mercy. And then second part of the question is, first is how do we understand this, and then second part of the question is that that you also talked about that the eligibility is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself said so in this beautiful verse, Gopir Bharata Padakamla Vardas Das Anudas. So so second question is, how do we develop this kind of this kind of mood, this kind of attitude? If you can say something, please.
So the first question, if I understood you, that how to understand this kind of contradictory. First, it is like he is Patita Pavana. Then the second thing, that if you don't have the proper, you don't get the proper mercy, isn't it? So we can understand this is there in Krishna Sandarbha. It is given by Jiva Goswami in Krishna Sandarbha. When a Narada Rishi, but getting the association of Narada Rishi, this Nala Kubera and Manigriv, they got this chance. They attained the mercy from Narada Rishi, and then they got birth there in Vrindavan Dham. So in that pastime in Krishna Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami says, this is the same Narada. He traveled around the entire universe. And he gives association to everyone. Even the demigods, they get association. But those demigods, they don't get this kind of benediction. Nala Kumbhara and Manigriv, they got this benediction that they attain this birth in Vrindavan Dham, and finally they got the mercy of Lord Krishna. But so Jiva Goswami explained that even while associating with a Vaishnava, if you do not have the proper mood that he is elevated and he is a devotee, he is Sometimes it happens, although we are associating with the devotee, but we do not have that proper mood. Okay, this guy, then we judge also sometimes according to his external feature, external whatever, according to his knowledge, and so many, we have our meters, we know very well. So we judge and according to that we associate, and according to that we treat and deal. So that's why ye yathama prapadyante. Krishna says, ye yathama, according to your mood, he reciprocates. So similarly, although Lord is very merciful, He is there, but you will get some mercy, like subordinate mercy. You might get subordinate mercy, but you will not get the main mercy. So that is how we can understand. Okay, if you go to Jagannath Puri, maybe you will get free from the sinful activity. You will become very pious. You will be free from all the suffering. But that is the not perfect goal. That is the not final goal of a devotee. That's not the real mercy. Like Prabhupada says, getting free from this sinful karma is not the real mercy. That you can get free from going to different tirtha as well. But taking the darshan of Lord means completely getting the love of God. So that's the contradictory thing we can understand, that okay, you get the mercy, but you get, like, if someone comes to you, your children, your family relative, the way you treat them, and the way you are merciful and kind to them, you are not that much kind to a person who is just meeting you, maybe came to get some help, you do some help, but not like you do to your family member and the person who has the proper respected and submissive towards you. The first question clear? And the second question you ask, how to attain this eligibility, how to become dasa, dasanudasa. Prabhu, that will come by performing, devotional service for many, many years, because we are habituated in this material world. That is why we had come to this material world, because of that mood, because we want to become basanu, bas. And that mood will come only by listening and only by praying, only by serving the lotus feet of the devotees, lotus feet, and by performing some menial services. Depend upon the services as well. Sometimes, when we are given some menial service, automatically we become humble. And that's what Lord does also. When we are given big posts and opulences are there, name, fame, adorations, they are automatically, it's very difficult to become humble. Because you are surrounded by those things, and sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time, it's very difficult to digest those things. So to become humble, you have to take humble position. But while serving also, if you want to become humble, then we have to remember, we have to assimilate the same mood when we join ISKCON. Sometimes I say, when we join ISKCON, just remember those days. Yaad karo or this. Those days, what would happen? Whoever would meet, very humbly, oh, they are devotee. I am the only fallen soul here. But gradually, with time, with due course of time, oh, now I know, I memorize few verses, and now I can give also class. I also know this. I also did some contribution. I also did some seva. And that is how the pile of yoga started to, accumulate. So we have to check ourselves. That is the way. The time to time we have to check. And if we don't check, then Lord check us. Sometimes we make us realize through different pastimes. So, yeah, what you said, how to attain that eligibility. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says is vice versa. Sankirtan will give us that humbleness, and through humbleness we can realize Sankirtan. This is vice versa.
So beautiful. Thank you so very much. It was so nice. And looks like there is one question from Kishori Mohan Prabhu. Please go ahead, Kishori Prabhu. You can ask your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So very nice lecture, Prabhuji. Thanks for taking us through Puri, Jagannath. I have one question. This is related to the unique thing that is happening in that temple. There is a flag hoisting thing going on, right? It's one devotee goes up in that tower, like it's like 200 plus feet every
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Could you
Yeah.
please explain that one, Prabhuji?
About that,
Yeah, how is that happening? I mean, how do they
even
do it?
you want to know the importance of that flag.
Yes, Prabhuji.
In fact, that flag is the symbol of, like, early days, like whenever there is one chariot, every chariot has some flag. So, like, flag also has a name. It is called Garuda Dhwaja or Tala Dhwaja. The every chariot has flag. In early days also, every king they would put some flag to identify this is the chariot of this person. So the flag name of Lord Jagannath is Garuda Dhwaja because the picture of Garuda is there, sitting there. So before going, every day they change the flag. In fact, the flag also represents Lord Jagannath, and only by looking at that flag you get purified. Because before they put that flag on the top of the temple, they somehow other it's kind of through the puja and rituals, they it kind of is non different than from Lord Jagannath. So you could say that this is another expansion of Lord Jagannath. Why it is established there? Because Lord Jagannath temple, as we heard, that it is called Patita Pavana. Some people might be very sick, maybe from very far, they cannot walk down to the temple, they cannot come to temple. Some like Malaysians or Muslim people, they are not, allowed to the temple. For them, Lord is in the form of flag. He is sitting there on the top of the temple to liberate and give darshan to them. So if you cannot come to the temple, if physically you are not capable, or maybe because of caste, color, and because there all these Muslim people are not allowed, Malaysians and lower caste also not allowed. So for them, Patita Pavana Bana, this flag is there that okay, I am in the form of this flag and Sudarshan is there. Only by taking darshan of flag you will get liberated. And that is what Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they would do every day. They would just pay obeisances to the flag and to Sudarshan Chakra, non different than Jagannath. So that's why every day, then if you say why they take down, because they take down to distribute the mercy. Everybody, they come there, some donor, they want to have the mercy of the Lord. And to distribute the mercy, they change the flag.
It's so amazing, Prabhuji, to see that height one devotee is climbing up without any protection.
No, they are trained very well and they are blessed as well. Because, without the blessing, nothing can happen. So they are blessed and trained as well. And they climb to that because they have full faith, Prabhu. When you go to this pandas, although sometimes, it appears that they are not that elevated, they behave very, rudely, their behavior, it appears that somehow that it appears disturbing to us. Sometimes it happens, but still they are very elevated. One pastime is there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pastime, Sarup Damodar, the pastime is there. And even I think, Sarup Damodar is the one he found fault with the cloth that they offer, the cloth they offer to Lord Jagannath. It is with the water of rice, they call mar. They dip it to make it straight. Like nowadays, we use starch, So they use this water of rice in early days. I don't know how they do now. Early days, to make it straight and to decorate properly, they dip into the starch, and the starch is made of water rice. So it's considered impure. And he found fault with that. And at night, Balaram himself came in the dream and slapped him. How dare you finding fault with my devotees? So they are not ordinary. That's why they are considered 400 forms. They are Vaikuntha Parsad. We should respect them as Vaikuntha Parsad. So you're saying it's amazing. It is amazing. There are so many other amazing stories are there. And now Jagannath is performing many other pastimes there. So everything is amazing about Lord Jagannath. Everything amazing.
Sure, brother. I have another question also, but I'll hold on to it till another.
Okay.
Okay, we are already almost time 11:30 here, but one last question, Shamla Gopika Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble dandavats now. Thank you, Prabhu, first of all, for very beautiful pastime. Just one question regarding the different ways here that Jagannath is giving. So, like you said, like if someone is attached to Lord Ganesh, so he appears in that form, and then Kali, so he appears in that form. So, my question is like, if Jagannath is giving in that form, so then how they can understand that, because some people are more attached to Lord Ganesh and they consider Lord Ganesh as a supreme Lord. So, but even though that is not true, but still, like they are attached. So Jagannath, he shows in this form. So they will not again come to the point of Krishna as a supreme Lord. Right? So they always attach to that demigod only. So how we can understand this?
In the Bhagavad Gita itself, the Lord Krishna says that whatever form you were dedicated to, whatever form, Lord just increase that faith, and gradually by worshipping and by taking shelter through that gradual process, you come to this level. Although Lord fulfill the desire of the devotee, like whatever demigod they are giving benediction and fulfilling the desire of their devotee, but gradually, that's why in Bhagavad Gita it is a Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnana Bhanam Prapadyante. By worshipping demigod, then somehow other he will be purified, and then gradually he will come to the level of Bahu Janma Karijadi Saban, means after many births, that he takes shelter of Supreme Lord. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. That's what Krishna says. It takes, although Lord fulfills their desire, because they are surrendered to that. And but your question, why Lord does that? Because they have that faith. If he doesn't fulfill that faith, they might just give up and they might become, atheist. So somehow or other, like a baby, if like our kids, sometimes they are very, it kind of, they want something and they don't want to give up that. They want that thing, although they are like property. Sometimes they have cold and cough, still they want to have ice cream. And Prabhupada says that a perfect mother and father, those who are well-wishers, they will never ever give it. But sometimes if they're insisting a lot, then you feel okay, have it and get the reaction, then you learn it. So that's how Lord fulfill the desire. In Bhagavad Gita, he said that ye yathamam prapadyanti. As you worship, I am going to fulfill your desire. But gradual process, that is gradual process. They will come to this level that, okay, oh dear Lord, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, to come to that level, it takes time. So it takes time. And that is the gradual process, and Lord, that's why fulfill their desire. Even material desire that gets fulfilled. Like being a devotee, if you have some material desire, that also gets fulfilled. Is that clear, Mother?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, that was so wonderful. Anyone else has any question? Just one last question, maybe. If not, we end here. Again, on behalf of all the devotees, Upendra Prabhu, our sincere gratitude to you for your association, for your wonderful katha, nectarian katha. And we really hope to hear more from your good self. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you all the devotees for kindly joining us today. So we'll continue to meet and do Kirtan and Katha in each other's association. Thank you all very much. La Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.